Anytime Fitness Folkestone, located in the Harvey Shopping Center, has everything you need to stay in shape or get that look you've always wanted. Upright conventional tanning beds, a Zumba room, weight room, and state-of-the-art treadmills. They also have supplements and tanning supplies. Anytime Fitness Folkestone is also the proud sponsor of Charlton Sports Weekly with Glenn Hughes and Stan Wilds. See Stan to get fit anytime.
Welcome to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. Glenn Hughes here with Stan Wilds. Got a lot of action going on now.
Yeah, rec leagues in gear, isn't it?
Right, we started up last Saturday in Nahana. Had our 3 teams played. Unfortunately, only one of them came away with a win. One of our 7- and 8-year-old teams.
Still learning.
9- and 10-year-old, I believe they had a 7-6 lead late in the fourth quarter and gave up a touchdown, lost 12-7. So, but they will be going to Hilliard this Saturday.
All the teams play in Hilliard.
Everybody's in Hilliard. I think we got games at 11, 12, and 2, I believe it is. So, and then also Tuesday here at Indian Field, we're going to have 2 games, one at 6 o'clock, one at 7:15ish, whatever.
All right.
We got a 7- and 8-year-old team and a 9- and 10-year-old team to be playing against Hilliard.
All right. That'll be interesting.
Going to some maiden softball. Currently, as of yesterday's power rankings,
That was before the game.
before the game, they're ranked number 15. So they're right there on the bubble, if all the scores have been reported up to this point, which is probably doubtful.
And they did go down to Telfair County.
Right, they lost to
7-4, I believe.
I believe that's right.
There. But hopefully that won't kick them down too low.
But they've got 3 games remaining.
Clinch and 2 against Earl.
Right, all 3 are pretty much winnable games. Tuesday they'll host Clinch here. Wednesday they'll host Irwin, and then Thursday they turn around and go to Irwin. So I think
they should schedule a doubleheader Wednesday. Get it over with.
I thought that's what they might do, because the Wednesday game's a makeup of a rain-out game.
Yeah.
But I guess we didn't want to lose our home game, so we're going to make them travel over here again.
There you go.
JV
football?
We'll go to Bethune football first.
Yeah.
I kind of wrote it out of order, but.
All right.
Said yesterday they played a wild. Yeah, that's right. You ain't got to put your glasses on to see that. They went down to Yulee and won by a 62-38 score. Not basketball. This is football.
They were scoring at will.
I heard it was pretty much a blowout at halftime, and they put a lot of the younger kids in, and Yulee scored a lot of their points in the second half with the younger kids in. But
that's impressive.
I think if I remember right, what Coach Thomas sent me, Eric Daniels had like 225 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, threw a touchdown pass. I think A.J. Belt, quarterback, threw a touchdown pass, had about 85 yards passing roughly. Had 2 other kids, Michael Elliott and Israel Gilliard. Both of them ran for over 100 yards. So it looked like a whack game out there. Lots of offense.
No defense on Yulee's part. Lots of offense on our part.
That's it. So that improves their record. They're 5-0 now, so they're undefeated on the year. 1 game to go. Go to Callahan next Tuesday, hopefully to wrap up an undefeated season.
Hopefully so. That's an impressive score.
Yes.
That's almost 10 touchdowns, if not 10.
Depending on how many 2-point conversions they got, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're scoring that many touchdowns, I imagine the 2-point conversions were going in too. But like I said, they've already played Callahan here. I can't remember. They beat them, but I can't remember what the score was of that game. So
12-6.
So that was a
12-8.
So that was a close ball game. So going down to Callahan, you never know what you're going to get down there.
Yeah. That's going to be a That'll be a good game if it was 12-8 here. That should be a good game.
Right.
Hopefully they'll take a big crowd down there with them.
Hopefully so.
I know you'll be there, Glenn.
I'll probably be working that night. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do some JV football, and then we'll go ahead and take a break before we come back and talk about the Indians.
Speaking of Callahan.
That's tomorrow night. West Nassau comes up here. It's a 6 o'clock game now. Most B-team games start at 5. This one's going to start at 6 o'clock. Not exactly sure what the B-team record is. I think they lost last week to Baker, I think. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's all about getting kids experience at that level. So
experience to play on Fridays.
I know some of the earlier kids that were playing B-team have been promoted and moved up and getting good playing time on the varsity. So.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and take a break and get ready for 60 Seconds of Seth this week. All right, he'll be on camera next, and we'll be back after him with Talk to Indian Football.
Hey, this is 60 Seconds with Seth. I'm Seth Beasley with Charlton Sportsnet. I'm here today with number 7, Tevis Dasher, running back and linebacker for the Charlton County Indians. It's nice having you.
Great to be here.
All right. Well, just got a little dark. Well, so Tevis here had a great game against Wilcox. Against Wilcox. Let's look at some highlights.
Intercepted. Tevis Dasher got it at about the 26. Tevis Dasher still on his feet. Tevis Dasher makes a score. No! He's brought down about the 1, I think.
To his left, he's going to fake the handoff.
Oh,
intercepted by number 7, Tevis Dasher, and he is in the house.
28 yards.
Quarterback in trouble.
And Tevis Dasher. Where has Tevis Dasher been? He has showed up. Look at here.
Man, that was crazy. You were all over the place. Well, let's get started with these questions. So, would you rather pick up the whole team's jock straps or in the locker room, or eat all the leftover popcorn under the bleachers?
Pick up the jock straps.
Okay. I won't fight you on that one. Who would you rather date? A broke Beyonce or a rich Whoopi Goldberg?
Broke Beyonce.
Broke Beyonce?
Yes.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Luke Skywalker's lightsaber or Harry Potter's wizard wand?
Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
See, I said that too. No one agrees. Like everyone thinks that, you know, wand's gonna be better, but you know what? Lightsaber's so much better. See, Ellen?
Much cooler.
Would you rather be a starving sumo wrestler or a fat ninja?
A fat ninja.
A fat ninja?
Fat ninja.
I like fat ninjas are pretty cool.
Just the fact I'm a ninja, kind of, it's cool.
Yeah, be on the football field like that. Would you rather get attacked by 50 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
50 duck-sized horses.
Okay. 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 Well, there it is, folks. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, this has been. Well, if you want to see more of our highlights, go to our YouTube channel. This has been 60 Seconds with Seth. Brought to you by OREMC and Folkestone Pharmacy. We'll see you next time.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season. Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
Welcome back to Charlton Sports Weekly. Time to talk a little Indian football. I said they went over to Rochelle last week. Handed Wilcox County.
Handed them a whipping.
A whooping, yeah. Like I said, it was, I expect us to be competitive, but, I guess, things just kind of unraveled on Wilcox.
When it started going, that train started rolling downhill, it lost its brakes.
That's it.
But it was in our favor, so that makes it all the better.
That's right, 51-19. Like I said, going over all the scoring might take a while, so we may just throw out some stuff here and there. And
throw out the highlights. I watched it online, and that was the first game I watched online ever, and it was awesome.
All right.
I actually watched it on my iPad.
We started things off. Thomas Johnson came in and kicked a 30-yard field goal, his second of the year. So it's nice to have another weapon if you need it.
With his orange cleats.
With his orange cleats, hey, whatever it takes.
Who cares? He's on fire with them orange
That's
cleats
it.
Kicking the ball.
But Wilcox had problems with their punts all night long, either bobbling snaps or bad snaps.
Or getting blocked in return for a touchdown.
Right, so, we took advantage of that. And but we got several, I'm trying to think who else. Michael Dasher, he used him as he actually got to run the ball this time instead of just being a blocking back. Got him a 1-yard touchdown run. I think Trey Harrington scored on a 1-yard run. He threw a touchdown pass to Curtis Nixon. We were up 24-10 at the half. We thought pretty comfortable lead, but then they come out right after halftime and score, and then we get pinned back to our goal line and snap it out of the end zone on the punt. And next thing you know, it's 24-19. But with Harrington being such a good punter, even punting from his own 20, he booted that thing and
pinned them.
And they were back in their 20 somewhere in there. I can't remember the exact yard line, but then we drove them back, sacked them a couple times, and they had to punt. And that's when Anthony Jackson blocked the punt.
Scooped it and scored.
Scooped it and scored, right? And like I said, we were talking during the break, and we think that was pretty much what broke their back there. But then
defensive-wise,
defense played the front 8. I would say played outstanding. Had a few breakdowns in the secondary, but the front with Will Gowan, Michael Dasher, Tion Burroughs, linebackers, Lance Thompson, Drake Gillis,
Tevis Dasher,
and
Brandon Dale,
and Anthony Jackson played there some too. So all of them played well. We recorded, I can't remember how many sacks on the night, but it was several. Tevis overall had just...
Yeah, he's in my opinion, he was the player of the game.
He had games you dream about. He had 3 interceptions. Ran one back to the 1-yard line, ran one back for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, recovered a fumble. So
he was all over the field.
He was it. But then
Scott Burchall had 2 interceptions.
He had 2 first-half interceptions, right, from his safety position. So when you get 6 turnovers from a team, 7 if you really want to count the block punt. So, and we took advantage of most of them. But then late in the game, we kind of broke out a new formation, or added a wrinkle to an old formation. Instead of just the 2 blocking back for a quarterback, we dotted the I back there. I guess we call it an inverted wishbone there.
Yeah.
But Malik Brunson came in and ran the ball really, really well. I believe my stats, he ran the ball 5 times and had 105 yards rushing, including a 51-yard run, I believe it was.
21-yard average per
right.
carry.
Not too bad, huh?
Not shabby at all.
But looking into next week, or this week now, Turner County comes to town. It's going to be rec night out there, so all the rec kids and cheerleaders are going to get in free. Get to meet and greet with the Indians.
You gonna let me in free? You gonna give me you gonna vouch for me?
You gonna wear your jersey?
I will, man.
All right.
I will. It ain't no Georgia Bulldog jersey.
I ain't letting you in there.
All right. I wear Adam's Gator jersey.
That's even worse. I ain't able. But anyway, Turner County, like I said, looking at the power rankings, came out yesterday. They're ranked number 8. They've got a 3-2 record just like us. We're ranked 6th. So going by that, it should be a fairly even matchup.
And we owe them some payback from last year.
Right, a whole lot of payback. They got a new coach so I'm not sure exactly what they run this year. Hadn't had a chance to look at it.
If I had to guess, they probably running a spread offense because their coach was the offensive coordinator the past 3 to 4 years at Colquitt County. So
that's probably a good sign then.
So
yeah.
he ran the spread there. I'm assuming he probably is going to run it there at Turner. So, which they ran the spread last year, if I ain't mistaken.
Right.
So,
but we need everybody to be there Friday night. Fill the stands, be loud, be proud. Root the Indians on. Like I said, they need, every win counts toward these power rankings. And
that's right. And I feel like last week, this season, that game was sort of pivotal. If we lose that game at Wilcox, this season could be going the other way. But we won it. We blew them out. Got some confidence. Let's keep it rolling. Everybody needs to be there. Fill up the stands, and pack the house like we used to.
Right. I mean, this is only the second region game. But as long as you stay unbeaten in the region, you got a chance for the region championship and one of the top 4 seeds, or 4 or 5, however many public schools win in the region. But
play at home as long as we can.
Right. I guess we're going to move on to your favorite segment anyway, the college football picks.
That's right. First game, we got GSU at Alabama. Now, I was thinking that was probably Georgia Southern, as you were, but that's Georgia State.
Right.
So
from downtown Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta, but the game's in Alabama.
That really matters.
That was probably my tipping point as to where my pick was going, but I'll go with Bama.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about that one, but Alabama's defense kind of played better last week, so I think they can hold down Georgia State.
Yeah, I would say so. All right, this next game, me and you agreed, is the hardest pick of the whole slate we got here. Missouri at Vanderbilt. We both agreed, as far as schedule-wise, Vandy has played a tough schedule so far, and Missouri hasn't, so I'm going with Vandy.
Right. Like I said, Missouri's 4-0, and
Vandy's 3-2.
Right. And like you said earlier, I looked up Missouri's schedule to just see who they played, see who that 4-0 come against, and, well, I come to the conclusion they really hadn't played anybody, so I chose Vandy. Also, Vandy playing at home, that helps too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Ole Miss at Auburn. This game could go either way. If Auburn can match Ole Miss score for score, I think Ole Miss has kind of turned a corner this season. They started to last year,
right,
and making their way into the top tier teams in the SEC. And I'm going to take Ole Miss.
That's another game I thought a little bit about too, but like I said, Ole Miss got shut out by Alabama last week, but
right,
Auburn's not Alabama.
No,
They
they're in Alabama.
They're in the
but
same
they
state.
ain't Alabama.
And the last game I watched, Auburn, was Auburn LSU.
Yeah.
You know, Auburn kind of struggled to score points. So even though it's at Auburn, I picked Ole Miss also.
All right, next one, LSU at Mississippi State. LSU, I think, is going to rebound after their shootout last week and get them another win. I don't even think that one will probably be close.
Right, they're going to be some mad Tigers.
Yeah.
Headed to Starkville, Mississippi.
All right, this next game, I thought a little bit about Georgia Tech at Miami. Georgia Tech is a team to me that is sporadic.
Right, you don't know from week to week what they're going to do.
Yeah, they could beat Miami by 40 points, or they could lose by 20. And because they're so up and down, and I took into consideration the games at Miami, so I went with Miami.
Right. I think Georgia Tech's done cost me every week picking for them, so I'm hoping for Chris Milton's sake that they rebound and win. I'm pulling for Chris Milton, but I got to pick Miami.
All right, Air Force at Navy. I didn't even look at the schedules of these two, but I'm a Navy fan, so I picked Navy.
Now, I know. That's what I was fixing to go. At one time, with the
government shutdown? I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
That game may not be played at all, but
yeah. That if they do play, I'm taking Navy.
Well, I picked Navy also. So
if they do play,
we'll throw an extra pick out there this evening and let everybody pick.
All right. Maryland, who is undefeated, is going to FSU, who is undefeated. You know what? If this was a Thursday night game in Maryland, I would take Maryland, because Florida State's usually good for one loss on a Thursday night to somebody they shouldn't lose to. But it's in Tallahassee on Saturday afternoon. Florida State's playing like they're focused, so I'm going with the Noles.
Like I said, Florida State, I think, well, they came out last week, and I guess they wasn't quite ready to play when kickoff started and got behind early, but once they figured out there was a game going on, they decided they'd go ahead and play and ended up pretty much blowing out Boston College. So hopefully they'll come out from the get-go and play from the start, and since I'm picking them to win, I hope they can beat Maryland.
All right. UGA at Tennessee. I'd say Georgia's probably going to win by 5 touchdowns. I hope Tennessee pulls off the upset, because I need them to, but I don't think this is their week.
This is the week to do it. Now I'm expecting probably Georgia to have a little bit of a letdown. Probably start slow or whatever, and hopefully they can hold Tennessee till they get their minds back focused and ready to go. But
Tennessee would probably have a shot in this game if they brought back some of those players that they had on payroll a few years ago.
Right.
Like what's his name, the running back for the Houston Texans.
Oh, Arian Foster.
Yeah, remember he came out and said, I got paid to play at Tennessee. So if they brought back some of them players, they'd probably have a shot, but I don't think they do.
And another thing, I saw a picture of uniforms Tennessee's going to wear Saturday, and those are they're trying to top Oregon, I think.
Well,
they are gray uniforms, like your shirt.
Yeah.
Gray tops and pants with orange letters on them.
Well, Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour all have this competition to see who can have the loudest colored uniforms, and
but I was told
it's a sad fact, but a true fact. I believe kids pick colleges nowadays based on the style of the uniforms.
But I was told by a friend of mine who's a Tennessee fan, I won't hold it against him. He said those were the colors that Tennessee wore back in, I think, 1914, and they were undefeated that year. So.
Well, I don't know why they're wearing them now, because Sure ain't going to be undefeated this year.
I happened to ask him if those 1914 players were going to play Saturday, but...
All right, this next game. This was a hard pick for me. Arkansas at Florida. Arkansas still undefeated, right?
No, they got beat by Rutgers, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. They got beat by Rutgers because I picked Rutgers.
Had a win and let it slip away.
Me and Adam both picked Rutgers. All right. If the game was in Arkansas, I would consider picking them, but it's not. And although I didn't get to watch any college football last Saturday, I was out of town. But Florida beat Kentucky, 24-7? That's not that impressive.
Right.
Considering it was Kentucky. But it's in Gainesville, and usually Florida shows up when they play at home. So I'm going with Florida.
Unless it's against a directional school.
Yeah, like Louisiana Northeast or something.
But like I said, Florida plays good defense, so they just hope the defense holds them long enough for the offense to score enough points. So they're not ever going to score a whole lot of points, I don't think.
I don't know how did the quarterback play last week. He did good. And when he came in against Tennessee, I think he done a better job than Driscoll.
Right.
So I think
that and you lost your best defensive lineman to a torn ACL.
Yeah. So.
But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Gators, much as I hate to.
All right, the next one, Kentucky at South Carolina. This is a no-brainer for me. I did in between. I was at a Anytime Fitness conference last weekend. And in between classes, I was slipping into the lobby because they had the Carolina game on and checking it out. And I walked in, and they were down. I was mad. I went to this course, came back. They were winning big. I was happy. Then I came back near the end of the game and almost threw something at the TV when Central Florida almost come back and won. But it's Kentucky, so I'm going with my Gamecocks.
Right. Don't know if the quarterback from South Carolina is going to play or not.
He's not.
But with the running attack South Carolina's got, I expect Kentucky to see a heavy dose of them, and South Carolina be able to run it down their throat fairly easily.
So we got the same picks this week, Glenn.
That's right. We're going to stay tied for another week.
Nobody's going to be picking nothing up unless Chris gets us another game in place of the Air Force Navy, a.k.a. the government shutdown game.
Government shutdown bowl, huh?
That's right.
But I guess that's going to wrap us up for this week, and hope to see everybody at Indian Field Friday night.
That's right. And I'm running a special next Tuesday if you're not a member. $8 gets you signed up. On the 8th. 8 on the 8th. So, and I'm hosting a fitness challenge here next Tuesday, so I might get some video for it and send it to Chris to put on there. All right, that'll wrap us up. We're out of here.